We don't often have to worry about living with the consequences of video games, but sometimes the choices presented can linger long after we're done playing. There are a lot of games that pressure players with moral consequences to their actions. For better or worse, these are the moments that have stuck with us.
I've had enough of your disingenuous assertions. I wish I'd done that the first time we met.
Pushing Fallout's buttons. Arriving in Fallout 3's first major town, Megaton, players find that it's built around an active nuclear bomb that failed to detonate. While you explore, Megaton's sheriff asks you to disarm the bomb to keep the town safe for their foreseeable future. However, Alistair Tenpenny, a mean old rich dude who lives nearby, offers you a lot of cash to erase Megaton from the map. The very first major decision not only defines your game, but shows a major tenet of Bethesda's vision for the Fallout franchise: player choice. Blowing up Megaton sets you back quite a bit with St. Peter and your dad, but there is something satisfying about pushing that big red button and watching the town go boom. Wolfenstein 2's Old Yeller. During the opening of Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, players are given a glimpse into BJ Blazkowicz's early life. Flashbacks reveal BJ was the child of a loving Jewish mother and a strict, racist Southern father. Mr. Blazkowicz lashes out at BJ and his mother repeatedly, but after learning BJ befriended a young black girl, he snaps. As punishment, BJ's dad drags him to the basement and puts a shotgun in his hands. The father then lures the family pet into the room and directs BJ to shoot the dog.
All manners of scum and sickly minds and dirty bodies and cockroaches.
Players can aim away, but BJ's father still ends the pup himself, claiming BJ was too weak to be a real man anyway. It's a disturbing snapshot of reality in an otherwise over-the-top game, and one that makes a late-game family reunion that much more meaningful.
What more do you want from me?
I wanted you to treat me like I mattered.
A Fable to Regret. After winning the showdown with Fable 2's big bad Lucian, the immortal Teresa offers you one of 3 wishes. You can either bring everyone in the world back to life, sacrificing yourself in the process, bring back your family and dog at the expense of all those souls who worked on the Spire, or take an inordinate amount of money and retire as a hero that everyone in the world hates. There are no truly wrong choices, but the guilt you'll feel over not bringing all those people back to life may vary. Virtual money is cool, and you did do all the heavy lifting to stop Lucian, but if everyone hates you, was it really worth it?
Yup!
Crossing the line. With their backs against the wall and outnumbered by enemy forces late in the game, the heroes of Spec Ops: The Line had no choice but to drop white phosphorus on an entire portion of the game world in order to push forward.
No, we might not have a choice, Lugo. There's always a choice. No, there's really not.
Only after securing the area does the truth come out, making the characters and players feel absolutely sick. As it turns out, the enemies you were chemically attacking weren't really enemies at all, and dozens of unarmed civilians were affected by your actions. Spec Ops had a lot to say about war and what it means to be a soldier, but this was one point we wish wasn't made at all. BioShock Blood Rituals. BioShock's special abilities came with a price. Players needed to secure enough of the mysterious substance Atom to ensure they could throw flames, freeze foes, or electrocute enemies in Rapture. The only problem was Atom wasn't always easy to find out in the open, but it was easy to find in the bodies of Rapture's little sisters. As you found the little sisters throughout the game, you could choose either to cure them or steal their life force away. One choice made you more powerful and a creepy monster. The other saved the girls but left you less capable of surviving on your own. We all know how we played, but we won't judge you for doing something different. At least not to your face.
I'm quietly judging you.
A far cry from friendship. Far Cry 3's protagonist Jason had to rescue his friends from Vaz, an egomaniacal villain set on controlling Rook Island. If not for the intervention of Vaz's sister Citra, Jason may well not have been able to foil Vaz in his attempts at ruling the island. However, working with Citra came at a cost of its own. In the final moments of Far Cry 3, Jason must choose between saving the lives of his friends or joining Citra to rule Rook Island. Sparing his friends means Jason has to live with everything he did on the island, as one good decision does not outweigh all the carnage he caused. Offing his friends ultimately also leads to his own death, as Citra no longer needs Jason once he's helped to provide an heir to Rook Island. Mass Ethics 3. Prior to the events of the Mass Effect games, several planetary governments decided it would be best if perhaps the Krogan race didn't reproduce. As a warmongering race with a high rate of childbirth, the Krogans would eventually reproduce enough to take over the galaxy. Thus, the genophage virus was introduced to the populace, drastically reducing the number of Krogan babies popping out. It wasn't until Mass Effect 3 that a possible cure for the genophage was revealed, giving the Krogans an honest chance at survival.
We're curing the genophage no matter what it takes. Everything my people will ever be depends on it.
Then I hope this idea you were talking about is a good one.
Players could let the Krogans live by curing the virus, but at the expense of losing a trusted friend and ally in Mordin Solus. They also could fake a cure, with the Krogans merely believing the genophage was gone. Neither was an easy choice, but having the lives of an entire race put into our hands was certainly a decision we'd never want to entertain again. The Dishonor of Lady Boyle. Choosing whether or not to kidnap the vile Lady Boyle for a spurned stalker in Dishonored is arguably the creepiest choice you'll ever have to make in a game. Nothing about what the stalker wanted was normal or right, but on the other side of that coin, Lady Boyle was not a very nice person, and giving her a comeuppance of sorts was certainly something many players were willing to do. Perhaps if Lady Boyle hadn't been such a monster, players might have just assassinated her instead, but it's still a terrible thing to do to someone regardless of how she treated those around her. Kind of.
Oh, this? That's my credo. No regrets.
Thanks for watching. Click the SVG icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all of this cool stuff we know you'll love too.